I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is a PayPal request from Adelphonica. Hopefully I did not mispronounce that. Thank you so much. If anyone's ever interested in sending me requests via PayPal, the link is down below. Or if you want to join me on my Patreon, the link for that is down below too. Patreon is more of a monthly thing. PayPal is one-time thing. You can request any reviews or commentaries or video ideas, feel free. If not, I understand. But the request for today is Hachi, A Dog's Tale. Now when I saw the title, I kind of went, Hachi, A Dog's Tale? Like, is this a silly kids film? But much like this other film, Fluke, which actually I saw this first, then I saw Fluke. Both are much more dramatic than one would think. And both are pretty good movies. I would say I like this film more than Fluke, but they're both worth a shot. And this one, I didn't realize was based on a story that I had heard. And then I'm like, oh, okay, then that's this story. Well, not specifically, but it's based on that story. The real story, it took place in, I want to say the 1910s, the 1920s, and I believe it was in Japan. I could be wrong. Where I believe his professor went, his dog waited for him, guy never came back, and every day for about 10 years would go to that same place to wait for his master. And the dog died doing that, to a point that they made an actual statue of this dog. And this is definitely a story of devotion, story of loyalty. And I gotta admit, this got me a bit teary-eyed. I can admit that. If you want to see a pretty heartfelt film that will get you a bit teary-eyed, with a good cast. I mean, yeah, Richard Gere, Jason Alexander, Teriyuki Tagawa, Joan Allen. A really nice cast here. I forget what the one guy's name who's the hot dog vendor, but he's the guy in Encino Man who's like, stop wheezing the juice. He was also, I believe, in The Mummy. He's been in a lot of stuff. But the story, this kid, there's a classroom project where they have to talk about their heroes. This kid talks about his grandfather's dog named Hachi, and people are like, what? This is stupid. They're laughing at him. And he tells a story about how this dog was found, and we see how that happens, where this dog seemed like he was with some Buddhists and was being on this journey. Just the guy was moving or something. The ticket was torn and someone wasn't paying attention. The cage fell. The dog was loose, alone on the train station, and Richard Gere finds it, takes it home. It's going to try to find its owner, can't, or try to find a home, it can, and then him and the dog very much have a bond with each other, a strong bond with each other. Joan Allen is the wife who doesn't really like dogs, but then warms up to it. Richard Gere's character is a professor of music. He teaches music. Terihayuki Tadawa is Richard Gere's buddy who translates something that's on the dog's collar, recognizes a Japanese breed of Akita, and on it it's the number 8, which is Hachi. And you talk about how, oh, that's such a lucky number. Jason Alexander is the guy who runs the train station. And first and foremost, I am a Richard Gere fan. I really like Richard Gere as an actor. Long while ago, I reviewed a film called Internal Affairs, which was a fairly solid flick, which starred Richard Gere and I believe Andy Garcia. I love the Mothman Prophecies. I don't think I reviewed that film, but I do remember quite enjoying the Mothman Prophecies. So I do like Richard Gere as an actor, and he's really wonderful in this movie. Thought he did a really nice job. The idea for some people may seem hokey, but it's not. It doesn't dovetail into any stupid kid stuff of fart jokes or any of that sort. And Lasse is a very heartfelt story because you really get a sense of the bond between Richard Gere and the dog, growing up. One reviewer said it best. This was like a much better version of Marley and Me. I know it's not the exact same story, but I'm not a fan of Marley and Me. Like this, I thought was just a better story and better told. That's just me though. And this humor stuff, like they both get sprayed by a skunk and then they take a bath with tomato juice. He's trying to teach the dog how to fetch, but the dog ain't having that. And then one day the dog's like acting weird and finally gets the ball that Richard Gere wanted him to play fetch forever. And actually does it a few times. And you get the idea the dog's acting weird this one day. It's the same day that Richard Gere leaves, and then when he's teaching, he falls to the floor and he's had, I believe, a brain hemorrhage and doesn't come back. And that makes you think, well, the dog was acting weird because did he sense the brain hemorrhage, or did he sense something bad was going to happen? I guess the only thing, I thought the movie was going to, I would say it's a 90-some minute movie, and that doesn't happen till about an hour or so. I guess for some reason I assumed that we still had enough time of the dog going back each time and staying there. I guess for some reason I thought that'd be a longer portion of the film, but it didn't really bother me. I was a bit, not taken aback, but at first, but as it went on, I'm like, you know what, maybe this is the right amount of time to showcase how each day the dog will wait at that train station. And, it gets in the papers, and people there, feed the dog, and you see the seasons change. Joan Allen, she leaves. Her daughter and her husband take the dog in, but the dog wants to keep going back to this train station every day to await its master, and it never comes. I thought it handled it fairly well. And interesting enough, I believe this director is the same director of What's Eating Gilbert Grape. And I'm like, oh, it makes a bit more sense because I like What's Eating Gilbert Grape. And yeah, fairly talented director. And I definitely thought it was heartfelt. Joan Allen, the wife, has left, and she comes back, and it's been like 10 years, and sees the dog still there. And the way Joan Allen reacts, she's like, could I sit here and wait with you for the next train, Hachi? Thanks. And that sounds corny and cheesy, whatever word you want to use. I thought it was pulled off very effectively. And the way it ends, I thought was handled effectively too, which I won't get into. But I thought it was handled nicely. People, oh, you spoiled it. Well, I did. If you know, either you never heard of the movie, or if you know the story, you kind of know the gist of the story. It's a very simple story. It's a fairly straightforward story, but good acting, competent direction. It doesn't overdo any child hawkish lowbrow. It doesn't do lowbrow humor junk. It's short enough film. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And by the end, it's a very heartfelt movie. Part of you goes, man, you wish you would want this type of animal to be your pet. Or not even just that, anyone in your life to be like this dog. And part of it is like sad because that brain's like, you're wasting your fucking time. Live your life, motherfucker. Just live your life. What are you doing? You're wasting your life. But the other part is like, man, every day it will come that same time and wait, and kind of like heartbreaking and sad, but at the same time, the way it's handled at the end was nice. I liked it. I won't spoil that. But Hachi, A Dog's Tale, I think is definitely worth a look. If you like, oh, I don't know, the cover, the title, it's a lot better than, I think it's a lot better than one would think based on if you look at the poster, the title. I really do believe that. So I'm glad that I saw it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Take care. I highly recommend the film. If you like Marley and Me, go watch it. If you hated Marley and Me, I'm like, this is a better version. And yeah. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.